Hare Krishna. Let's start. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurudamena Tasya Shri Guru Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamani Yadatra Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padapanaram Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vikantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadhavitam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vikamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Karantu Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwahamsri Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Eva Chakatitam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radha Shri Savitam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastavutari Prabhupada Shri Guru Jalasana Saratara Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastavutari Shri Guru Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravan Pracharini Nirvishesha Shri Vikasa Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girimukhatam Vande Shri Guru Dinacharya Hare Krishna. So we are reading Shichakumacharitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 16, the pastimes of the Lord in his childhood and youth. We're on text 12. So that's the story of Tapan Mishra, if you remember. So Tapan Mishra, he was a scholar. Meaning that he had read many books, many books, but still he couldn't figure out what was the sadhya, meaning the goal of life, and what do we achieve, the aim of life, goal of life, sadhya, the perfection of life. Sadhya. And the sadhana, the method by which to achieve the perfection. So say that even if we read many books and scriptures, and even if we hear many commentaries and instructions of many men, this will produce doubt within his heart. One cannot in this way ascertain the real goal of life. So then text 12. Swapne ka viprakahe shunaha tapana Nimani Pandita Pashe Karaha Gamana. Tapan Mishra, being thus bewildered, was directed by a Brahmana in a dream to go to Nimai Pandit Chetan Mahaprabhu. Text 13. Tinho Tumara Sadhya Sadhana Pari Be Nishchay Sakshar Ishvara Tenho Nahi Ka Shamshaya. Because he's the Lord Ishvara, the Brahmana told him, undoubtedly he can give you proper direction. So meaning that when somebody is very sincere and is looking out for direction, for knowledge, for practice, then a Brahmana comes and gives instruction. So this is the dream. So this is the Chaitanya Guru, Chaitya Guru, right? The Lord in the heart is directing. Swapna dekhi Mishrasi Prabhura Charane Swapnera Vritanta Sama Kaila Nivedana. After seeing the dream, Tapan Mishra came to the shelter of Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet, and he described all the details of the dream to the Lord. Prabhu Tushtahana Sadhya Sadhana Kahila Nama Sankirtana Kara Upadesha Kaila. The Lord, being satisfied, instructed him about the object of life and the process for attaining it. He instructed him that the basic principle of success is to chant the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement is based upon this instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that one should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly and according to the prescribed principles. We simply ask our Western students to chant at least 16 rounds a day, but sometimes we find that they fail to even chant these 16 rounds. And instead, they bring many austere books and a worshipping method that diverts their attention in so many ways. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult is based upon the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Lord Chaitanya first advised Tapan Mishra to fix his mind on this chanting. We, the members of the Krishna consciousness movement, must strictly follow this advice of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here Srila Prabhupada is saying that in ISKCON, he has fixed that we must chant at least 16 rounds a day. And Prabhupada is saying that sometimes they fail to chant even these 16 rounds. Why? Because they are bringing some austere book. I don't know what it is. They bring many austere books. So meaning they're still looking for, even though they have come to Prabhupada, even the Prabhupada is saying chant 16 rounds, they fail to chant the 16 rounds, they are doing other things. They're not following the sadhana that Prabhupada has fixed. So Prabhupada is writing this in his Chaitanya Charitamrita purport, meaning he is drawing the attention of anybody who wants to be his follower, that he wants them to chant 16 rounds rather than to bring many austere books and a worshipping method that divert their attention in so many ways. So I don't know what is that worshipping method also. So I didn't give the details of what they are doing. Most probably, Prabhupada's disciples will know what they were doing. So text 16. Tanraicha Prabhu Sange Navadvipe Vasi Prabhu Agya Dila Tumi Yaova Varanasi. Tapan Mishra desired to live with the Lord in Navadvip, but the Lord asked him to go to Varanasi, Benares. Tahanatma Sange Tumara Habe Darshana. Agyapana Mishra Kele Kashite Gamana. The Lord assured Tapan Mishra that they would meet again in Varanasi. Receiving this order, Tapan Mishra went there. All right, Anupama, you want to read? Text 18.
Hare Krishna. Text 18. Prabhura atarkya lila bhujitena pare swasanga chandana kene pathaya kashipuri. I cannot understand the inconceivable pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For although Tapan Mishra wanted to live with him in Navadvipa, the Lord advised him to go to Varanasi. When Tapan Mishra met him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in household life, and there was no indication that in the future he would accept the sannyas order. But by asking Tapan Mishra to go to Varanasi, he indicated that in the future he would accept sannyas, and that when he would teach Sanatan Goswami, Tapan Mishra would take advantage of the opportunity to learn the object of life and the real process for attaining it. Text 19.
Yeah,
Aim
one minute. So this is so important because this is what we have in the nectar of devotion. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke about this sadhya and sadhana with Sanatan Goswami. And then Srila Rupa Goswami also, and this is what is recorded in the Nectar Devotion, Prabhupada's Nectar Devotion. And Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and Srila Prabhupada made a summary of this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and just appropriate for all of us. So here it is. So now Tapan Mishra, he met Mahaprabhu when he went to the west, to East Bengal. He was a Grihastha at that time. So everybody was running to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now he gave him an instruction. He says, go to Benares, Varanasi. And Mahaprabhu is a Grihastha. So Tapan Mishra thinking that he will go and stay in Navadvip, he will stay with him, and he will have so much association. But here I say, no, you go very far away from me, right? Where's Bengal, right? And where's Varanasi? Varanasi, I should pronounce it properly. But he's such an obedient disciple, such a difficult instruction, such a supremely different instruction. Remember, I think we read about this is where he met Prakashananda Saraswati, and Tapan Mishra was there, and Mahaprabhu stayed with him in Varanasi. So meaning he had already set his devotee there. Otherwise, where will he stay in Varanasi? There's only Mayavadis. We have no place to stay. So he sent one disciple there. So he has a place. Remember, nobody stayed in guest houses and hotels in those days. Everybody stayed in devotees' houses. Right? That's where they were hosted, in devotees' houses. Yeah, so Tapan Mishra went to Varanasi, meaning that in future he would accept sannyas. And that when he would teach Sanatan Goswami, Tapan Mishra would take advantage of the opportunity. Last week we remarked about this, how we get knowledge. Knowledge is given. Knowledge is confidential. It's given to disciples only, right? It's not given to each and every one. So Mahaprabhu, he was teaching Sanatan Goswami, and therefore Tapan Mishra overheard the instructions. And I also mentioned that how basically this is how we are open, having open classes. Maybe I mentioned to you like how I saw this video. It is what do you call those vlog, like they have blog, they have vlog, right? Right. So this person, anyway, he must be a pious person. So he was moving around in so many places. So he went to one place where they teach Sanskrit. And he took video of everything, but he couldn't take video of that Gurukul. All right? The Gurukul where they were teaching Sanskrit, he was not even allowed in the Gurukul. All right? And these people were all speaking fluent Sanskrit. All these kids, everybody was learning. But in the preaching movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the preaching movement, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the way Prabhupada has given, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta has given, they are opening open classes. Like in all our temple, we don't go secretly, in one study room and put all our disciples there. Only they are allowed. No. In the temple room, we are giving class openly. And then when we have festival, openly we are giving classes. And then if by luck somebody sit there and overhear what is being said, and their life can be changed. So it's the same principle here. So Mahaprabhu was speaking to his devotee Sanatana Goswami, but Tapan Mishra, he didn't have the full qualification yet, so he overheard. Continue.
Text 19. Eimata bangera lokera kaila maha hita namadiya bhakta kaila padana pandita. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu contributed the greatest benefit to the people of East Bengal by initiating them into Harinam, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and making them learned scholars by educating them. Following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Krishna conscious movement is distributing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and inducing people all over the world to chant. We are giving people an immense treasury of transcendental literature translated into all the important languages of the world, and by the grace of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this literature is selling profusely and people are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with great delight. This is the preaching process of the Chaitanya cult. Since the Lord wanted this cult preached all over the world, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is acting in a humble way so that the vision of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may be fulfilled all over the world, especially in the Western countries.
Yes, so this 14, 15 is together. So this is how Srila Prabhupada is distributing Mahamantra. Just see, we are doing the same thing. And when we are participating in Mahaprabhu's movement, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu contributed the greatest benefit to the people of East Bengal by initiating them into Harinam, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and making them learned scholars by educating. So two things were done simultaneously. One was Harinam, and the second was
making them scholars.
Yes. So both go together, Harinam and study of the scripture. Right? And this is what we are doing right now. So earlier, Prabhupada already gave the instruction that we must chant 16 rounds and no failing in chanting 16 rounds. And now he's saying that also he made them Pandit, right? So he was teaching everyone. And Prabhupada is saying that his ISKCON is acting in a humble way so that the vision of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may be fulfilled all over the world. Prabhupada was Maham Super Maharathi. Okay, text 20, Indira Radha, you want to read? I'm just
Hare Krishna.
popping up on my screen.
Ei mata bange prabhu kare nana lila. Etha navadvipe Lakshmi virahe dukhi hela. Because the Lord was engaged in various ways in preaching work in East Bengal, his wife Lakshmi Devi was very unhappy at home in separation from her husband. Prabhura viraha sarpak Lakshmi re damshila. Viraha sarpe vishe tanra paraloka hela. The snake of separation bit Lakshmi Devi, and its poison caused her death. Thus she passed to the next world. She went back home, back to Godhead. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 8.6, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram. One's practice in thinking throughout his entire life determines the quality of his thoughts at death, and thus at death one obtains a suitable body. According to this principle, Lakshmi Devi the goddess of fortune from Vaikuntha, who was absorbed in thought of the Lord in separation from him, certainly went back home to Vaikuntha, Lok after death.
So we actually don't know properly why she left. Actually, I could never figure that out. But Shichir Mahaprabhu, he walked to East Bengal, so it must have been a long time that he was away, isn't it? Hmm? And she's a young girl. She's waiting, waiting, and waiting for her husband. And he's not coming back. So that separation like killed her. Viraha sarpa vishe tanra paraloka haila. So because of that meditation, so this is also one of Mahaprabhu's teachings, that feeling of separation from the Lord, the more we start feeling separation from the Lord, and the more we desire to be with Him and with Him alone, nobody else, nothing else, then that is also our liberation. Text 22.
Antare jalina prabhu yate antaryami. Deshe re ela prabhu sache duka jani. Lord Chaitanya knew about the disappearance of Lakshmi Devi because he is the super soul himself. Thus he returned home to solace his mother, Sachi Devi, who was greatly unhappy about the death of her daughter-in-law. Ghare aila prabhu bahu lana dana jana tatva jani gyani kaila sachira dukha vimochana. When the Lord returned home, bringing with him great wealth and many followers, he spoke to Sachi Devi about transcendental knowledge to relieve her of the grief she was suffering. Purport. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita 2:30, Dehinosmin yatha dehe komaram yovanam jara tatha dehantaro prapte dhirastatra na mukhyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Such verses from the Bhagavad Gita or any other Vedic literature give valuable instructions on the occasion of someone's passing away. By discussing such instructions from the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, a sober man can certainly understand that the soul never dies, but rather passes from one body to another. This is called transmigration of the soul. A soul comes into this material world and creates bodily relationships with a father, a mother, sisters, brothers, a wife, and children. But all these relationships pertain to the body, not the soul. Therefore, as described in the Bhagavad Gita, Dhiras tatra na mukhyati. One who is sober is not disturbed by such phenomenal changes within his material world. Such instructions are called Tattva Katha or real truth. Heavy.
Well, this is like, I was just thinking how it was natural to speak about this. Like in India, natural that there is somebody has left the body, and we speak about all this. But these days, people don't like it, especially if it's a youngster who has died, by accident or something. The grieving family don't like to hear this. They really don't want you to preach and tell all these things. So what do they want you to do? They want you to just come and sympathize with them. But they don't want to hear about this. unless they're very intelligent. So preachers are having a hard time now. They want the devotees to come when there is, some calamity, something. They want them to come to their home, but they don't want them to preach what Mahaprabhu is preaching. Because this was standard. And now Lakshmi Devi is a young girl. She is the daughter-in-law of the house. And Mahaprabhu himself is a young man. And a young girl has died. This is in meaning that most prematurely. But he is preaching everywhere, right? So he came home, he saw his wife was gone. So when the Lord returned home, bringing with him great wealth and many followers, so he found that, actually, previously said that he already knew, he's the super soul, he already knew about the disappearance of Lakshmi Devi. So when he saw Sachi Devi was greatly unhappy about the death of her daughter-in-law. Meaning she loved her daughter-in-law. I really wish that this relationship could be like this. Whatever I have read in the Vedic literatures, like I find that the mother-in-law, they accept their daughter-in-law as their own daughters. Like I see with Kunti Devi, how she welcomed Draupadi, how she took care of Draupadi, she protected Draupadi, she sided with Draupadi, and now here, Sachi Devi, she was greatly unhappy about the death of her daughter-in-law. So I don't know what happened in the course of time that it has become such a strained relationship. I don't know what went wrong. Yeah, so
I'm thinking of these little children of the Air India flight, How can you explain to their parents that Dehinam Dehinosmin Yathadehi? How can you explain that? It's so difficult
how to
in
explain
those
to who?
circumstances. You remember that Air India flight?
Yes.
241 people died, and
Yes.
little children.
Oh,
So
little children
how do you
also died.
explain?
And
They
not
also
only
died.
that,
Oh, you didn't know?
Mataji,
Yeah,
where
the
the
whole
Air India,
family.
where the Air India flight actually landed, it was a children's mess. They were having lunch,
Oh,
and
yeah,
medical students' hostels
yeah.
mess,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so many boys inadvertently died there,
Yeah.
who were not even part of the flight.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like targeted by destiny, right?
yeah, a complete
My
target by destiny.
my
Yeah.
question is, how do you explain to those parents?
Yeah. So here,
Dehinosmin Yathadehi.
yeah.
Koma.
So that's what.
Very difficult.
So this is what Shicheta Mahaprabhu. So that's why I'm saying that the society was so advanced, right? That society was so advanced that when Sachi Devi was greatly unhappy and lamenting the death of her daughter-in-law, so Mahaprabhu spoke to Sachi Devi about transcendental knowledge to relieve her of the grief she was suffering. So he says, so what did he say? He said, the person has not died. The soul is within the body. The body has died, but the person has not died. The person has transmigrated to another body. And this body, due to this body, because the body is born, the soul is not born, but the body is born. And when the body is born, therefore I say I'm born from this father and mother and all the other relatives that Relatives meaning those that are connected to this body. But actually, the person has nothing to do with all this because the soul doesn't die. And the soul, when he takes another body, he sits in another body, he has nothing to do with his body. And again, he will live. So whether I die when I'm 5, whether I die when I'm 15 or 25 or 45 or 65, the point is that the body has to die. Now, how the body dies, right? So here, Lakshmi Devi, she left her body out of separation for her husband. And now how these other kids, these youngsters, how they left the body, who can know the hand of destiny?
Mataji, isn't it also said that sometime during instant karma or too much offense also, I mean, people do this inadvertent offense and you get instant karma, and where you are not supposed to die early, as a punishment, you are taken away from this material and you get that karma instantly.
It's not necessarily instant.
Money, where your offense is so great that you get the reactions abruptly, and there your lifespan is cut immediately.
Sudden death,
Ah,
right?
a
Sudden
sudden death, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it is.
but what did this little children? What karma? They have not been able to do any bad karma yet.
Well, we're not speaking of this love.
In
That's what
life,
we're saying.
not
It's
in
not
this life.
instant. I'm not speaking of instant. I'm saying carry forward, right? We
There is
don't,
also
we
carry
don't,
forward
yeah,
karma.
we don't know whether they have caused violence to youngsters in their previous
Yeah,
lives.
that's true. That's
We
true.
have no idea, right?
No, no.
We don't know whether they have cut, the opportunity of children to study. We don't
Yeah,
know whether they have removed children from their parents, right?
Mm.
There are so many
yeah,
ways
true.
by which we may have committed sinful activities or offended people in a gross way, right? Because it is simply unimaginable what happened. No, nobody, like Ashwini, I think, I don't know whether this class, like or some other class, she was saying that it's just impossible, like what happened. Just simply impossible. She's from Air India. So it's just impossible. So how something like this could happen? This can only be the hand of
Good.
the laws of nature. Krishna is very far from all this. He doesn't get involved in all this. It's the laws of nature, what has been recorded. Actually,
Yeah,
before that happened, how it keeps popping up on our YouTube, so many astrologers and so many things. And one person had said, there is a configuration building up. Configuration meaning it's programmed, right? So he said there is a configuration that is building up. This is exactly like 9/11. Can you imagine? Maybe it was 1 or 2 months before this crash. So in the beginning, I saw the picture. I couldn't understand what it was. And then I saw and read this in a building, and I remember that person had said, a configuration is building up where there's going to be plane crash. And he himself also could have imagined like this.
which one?
Yeah, he could also, his reading configuration, he could never imagine from which place, who will drive a plane inadvertently, right, and land up in a building. So mystery of life, calamities of life, we are observing all this. Even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, nobody can figure out how karma works. It's such a knotted, such an entanglement. Nobody can trace out, understand, but we must cut it with a strong rope of detachment. Hmm? The body has to be severed from the soul, or rather the soul should be severed from the body by the strong weapon of detachment and cutting the karma. Because it is karma that is making us take birth after birth. So Prabhupada was asked this question about what happens if there is a plane crash? Where do the people go? You know, Prabhupada says, according to the state of consciousness, this is where they go. So this is given here. Where is it?
Yeah.
According to the state of consciousness in this verse itself, right? Where is it?
21, verse 21 purport.
Verse 21. Yeah. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajantyante kalevaram. One's practice in thinking throughout his entire life determines the quality of his thoughts at death, and thus at death one obtains a suitable body. So according to this principle, Lakshmi Devi went where?
Vaikuntha.
Vaikuntha, right? And those who were thinking of other things, then they, whatever they were thinking or whatever their mind was focused upon, that's where they take birth. So this is true for each and every one of us. Wherever we are right now, it's where our mind was focused, whatever work we are doing, activities we are doing. Okay, Amrita Radhe, your hand has been up for a long time. What you want to say?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Actually, my question was about this particular purport itself. Here it says, one's practice in thinking throughout his entire life determines the quality of his thoughts at death. So, how can we as sadhakas ensure, because especially being grihastas, our mind is everywhere about our children, about parents, spouse, everything. And we do chant 16 rounds, study Srila Prabhupada's books. So basically, I think from what I understand, is to reach the desired destination, as we grow older, our mind should become more and more focused on Harinam and Harikatha. Is that correct understanding?
Yeah, sadhya and sadhana, right? Meaning that at different stages. Do you mind putting on your video? Is it possible? When I'm making a phone call, I speak, audio. When I'm making a video call, I like to speak video. Okay. So, So, at different stage in life, we have different duties. Let's remember these two dharma, swadharma. Let's remember this. We have two swadharma. One is our material duties in varnashram dharma, and then our spiritual constitutional position, our real original self. Right? Real original self, which has nothing to do with all these changes of bodies. Isn't it? So the material body has duties at different stages of life. For example, before you got married, you were so much into studies, right? Everything was study, study, study. When that was over, now it's about children and maintenance, right? And then that stage will also pass because the children will grow up, right? They'll grow up and they won't need you. As they start growing up, they need you less and less and less. And their attention also get diverted. Then what will you do? Right? If you have no relationship with Krishna, parents suffer. They suffer terribly when the children no longer need them. And this is the arrangement of nature. also. Hmm? So knowing this, that at the end of it all, my real relationship is with Krishna. Throughout my life, I continue to develop that relationship with Krishna. There is no obstacle in thinking of Krishna, in doing service for Krishna. If you are, as you say, you are maintaining your 16 rounds, and Prabhupada in some purport we read recently said that my disciples are not even chanting 16 rounds, right? Just see during Prabhupada's time itself, and they are developing some austere, I don't know what they were doing, some austere something. Austere books, huh? Austere books and method of worship. So I don't know what they were doing.
Worship.
So if we are being simple, all right. So Prabhupada said, don't be austere, read austere books. No, what? Do some austere method of worship. Do simple. What is that simple? Chant 16 rounds, right? And you have your deities. You have to eat. Therefore, you have to offer to the deities, right? Whatever you are doing, this is remembering Krishna. So that one line, that continues, and the rest, material, but just as the body is becoming older and it is dropping off, all those who are like attached to us, gradually they drop off automatically, and you are left all alone, right? This old man, this old lady, however many people may be around them, at the end of the day, they are living all alone in that body. They have to figure out their own life and destination. Whether you have ill wishers or you have well wishers, right? At the end of the day, you are alone with yourself. Now, if you don't develop your relationship with Krishna, how lonely you will be, how afraid you will be, right? So the practice is throughout life. And if my practice is never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, meaning even if sometimes I forget Krishna, but again I remember him, right? It happened to all of us, we forget Krishna. Right? We're so busy doing our seva that we forget Krishna. Until Krishna gives such a slap, I say, yes, Krishna, please tell me what to do, how to do, right? Krishna always makes sure that I don't forget him. You know, when I'm so busy thinking I'm the doer. Right? So these are little tips. Krishna makes sure, especially if we are devotees, he makes sure we don't forget him. He has his ways and means of doing it, and no protest. Yeah, so I just heard this very nice, this question was asked to Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj. And very, very nice. You should, I don't know whether I posted those series of lectures, but it's very nice he explained this. That we devotees, we are, our sadhana bear fruit. Our sadhana 100% bear fruit. There are many, small things here and there that just drop off. They don't really sit in our consciousness. Because life is so many events happen in our life, right? But they are not important. What is most important for you is Krishna. Those other things are just detail, they're passing by, it's like you're passing through a street, you're going, you have a goal. There are many things going on all around you, but your focus, what you want, your mind is set there. That's how you manage to reach to the destination that you had aimed. Right? You want to go to the market, right? Many things happen in between your house and the market, but you do reach the market, right? Yeah, God, it's almost such a pain to pull out from your house to go anywhere, right? Even the person who has to go to work, it's such a pain. But everybody picks himself or picks herself up and go to work or that destination. Similarly, the soul remains focused. I have a destination. I want to reach this side. Many other things happen on the way. It doesn't matter. Is it okay?
Yes, Mataji. So what I understand is that the process has been given, and just like Tapan Mishra, if we sincerely and also seriously continue doing it, we may have obstacles, but eventually we'll reach the destination.
Yeah,
So that's what I understand.
provided we don't lose sight of the goal and we don't cease to endeavor, isn't it? All right. So, just like now, Bombay, it's so much rain, it's crazy. And I see, I thought most people won't come, but I see, our devotees who are all volunteers, they all travel from so far in the heavy rain they came. And I'm looking at them shocked, and I said, please go home. One after the other, I'm telling, go home. I don't want you to drown in Bombay, but they're so determined and focused. No, they want to come. Oh, one girl, she came from Chembur. Another one came from Dadar. Sending them, oh, home, go home. And another girl, she lives nearby, Saad Bungalow. She told me, Mataji, I walk 1.5 kilometers. I prefer to walk than to catch a rickshaw. What for? To do seva, right? Focused. And for me, I look at the rain and I forgot I have a doctor's appointment, so I didn't go. I missed it. So just look at the rain. And then I said, oh my God, I wish I had the same determination as these ladies. Anyway, tomorrow I have to do it. So we get put off by obstacles. But they were so determined and focused. To have some seva and must come and do it. So this is required. This is required. We can't be, what do we call this, like tepid, lukewarm. We can't be lukewarm in our endeavors. It has to be tivrena. Very sharp and focused. Tivrena. No lukewarm method, will end up nowhere. All right, so 5 minutes more. So who wants to read now? Rashmi, you want to read? Where are we? I've lost. 20?
Text 24.
Oh, we are 24, okay. All right, yes.
शिष्यगणलाना पुनः विद्यार विलास विद्याबले सबाजिनी औद्धत्य प्रकाश. After coming back from East Bengal, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again began educating others. By the strength of his education, he conquered everyone, and thus he was greatly proud. I continue, Mataji.
Yes.
तबे विष्णु प्रिया ठाकुरानी र परिणय तबे त करीला प्रभु दिग्विजय जय. Then Lord Chaitanya married Vishnu Priya, the goddess of fortune, and thereafter he conquered a champion of learning named Keshav Kashmiri. As in the modern day, there are many champions in sports. So in bygone days, there were many learned scholars in India who were champions in learning. One such person was Keshav Kashmiri, who came from the state of Kashmir. He travelled all over India and at last came to Navadvip to challenge the learned scholars there. Unfortunately, he could not conquer the learned scholars in Navadvip, for he was defeated by the boy scholar Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Later he understood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus he surrendered unto him and later became a pure Vaishnav in the Sampradaya of Nimbark. He wrote Kaustubha Prabha, a commentary on the Vedanta commentary, commentary on the Vedanta commentary of the Nimbark Sampradaya. which is known as the Parijat Bhasya. The Bhakti Ratnakar mentions Keshav Kashmiri and lists his predecessors in the disciplic succession of the Nimbark Sampradaya. Srinivas Acharya, Vishwa Acharya, Purushottam, Vilas, Swarup, Madhav, Balabhadra, Padma, Shyam, Gopal, Kripa, Devacharya, Sundar Bhatt, Padmanabh, Upendra, Ramachandra, Vaman, Krishna, Padmakar, Shravan, Bhuri, Madhav, Shyama, Gopal, Balabhadra, Gopinath, Keshav, Gokul, and Keshav Kashmiri. It is stated in the Bhakti Ratnakar that Keshav Kashmiri was a favorite devotee of Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning. By her grace, he was an extremely influential scholar, and he was the greatest champion amongst all the scholars in the four corners of the country. Therefore, he got the title Digvijay, which means one who has conquered everyone in all directions. He belongs to a very respectable Brahmin family of Kashmir. Later, by the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave up the profession of winning championships and became a great devotee. He joined the Nimbark Sampradaya, one of the Vaishnav communities of the Vedic culture.
Okay, so here's some information about Keshav Kashmiri. So more will be said about this encounter. Keshav Kashmiri. So Prabhupada is saying, as in the modern day, there are many champions in sports. So in bygone days, there are many learned scholars in India who are champions in learning. So this Digvijay. But Mahaprabhu is saying that we are not interested in all of this, learning and defeating others. This is not our program, to learn and defeat others. Our program is to become devotee of Krishna. Not just reading books and bewildering other people with our knowledge. So he joined the Nimbarka Sampradaya. So 29th in that Sampradaya is Keshav Kashmiri. So that was the success of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Stated in Bhakti Ratnakara that Keshav Kashmiri was a favorite devotee of Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning. So he was, by her grace, was extremely influential scholar and the greatest champion among all the scholars in the four corners of the country, meaning India. So he got Digvijay, and then his ego got poked by one small ball, right? So he came across Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, just a boy. And so he got defeated by a small boy.
Mataji, but Nimbakacharya is Kumar Sampradaya. So
Yes.
Kumar Sampradaya and Madhavacharya, the god Madhav Sampradaya, they are almost basically on the same lines, right?
Everybody is, I haven't studied properly. Or, I've got my notes, but I've forgotten. Who they are, but see, they're all Vaishnavas, all right? And Nimbarkacharya, there was a lot of Radha Krishna worship.
Okay.
This is more their line. Like even Madhacharya, he has Bal Gopal. I don't know how Bal Gopal ended up in Udupi, right? The small boy, Udupi Krishna is actually Bal Gopal.
Gopal, yes.
And the Gujaratis, Vallabhacharya Vishnu Swami.
Srinathji.
They are also Bal Gopal, right?
Srinathji is Bal Gopal.
But actually, most of them, they also worship Nrsimhadev. Yes, Ramachandra, like Ramajacharya in his Sampradaya, Ramachandra is worshipped, and Narasimhadev. In most of these Vaishnava Sampradaya, Narasimhadev is a major deity who they worshipped. All right, so we stop here. So, 1 minute. Let me complete this section. Vrindavanadasaiha kariya chena vishtar sputana hi kare dosha gunera vichar. Vrindavan Das Thakur has previously elaborately described this. That which is clear need not be scrutinized for good qualities and faults. That which is clear need not be scrutinized for good qualities and faults. Oh my God, this is what we tend to do. As soon as somebody speaks, sit on the Vyasasana, the person give a class and immediately, so many others will want to say, how can I defeat the person? I heard this, Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj saying that our work is to criticize the speaker and find faults with him, right? We want to test how much he knows. So that which is clear, so such etiquette, such etiquette in writing, oh my God, this anartha, this anartha of showing off one's scholarship, is very deeply rooted in the hearts of scholars. So here, Krishna Das Kaviraj is saying, Vrindavan Das Thakur has previously elaborately described this, meaning all that incidents here. That which is clear need not be scrutinized for good qualities and faults, dosha gunera. Seyam Shakahi Tanre Kari Namaskar Yashuni Digvijay Kaila Apana Dhikara. Offering my obeisances to Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, I shall try to describe that portion of the Lord's analysis, which when he heard it, made the Digvijayi feel himself condemned. Offering my obeisances to Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, I shall try to describe that portion of the Lord's analysis, which, when he heard it, made the Digvijay feel himself condemned. All right, so next time we're going to read about this Keshav Kashmiri.
Yes.
And remember that when we are reading all these pastimes, it is to remove our own anartha. When Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is defeating a scholar, or whatever he's doing, actually, this is removing our own anartha, because we don't know secretly in the heart what is sitting there. And one day it just popped up. So different anarthas gets removed. Different people have different anarthas, and they are removed. And that's why we are reading all these pastimes, all these Krishna book. Srinvatam Sakatha Krishna. Punya Shavana Kirtanam Riddandasto Bhadrani. Vidhunoti Suhit Satam. That which is abhadra, that which is disturbing the heart, always anartha, they are addressed as we read the different incidents. The demons in our heart are addressed.
Mataji, I have a question. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started to have this debate or discussion with Keshav Kashmiri, that time was he already under the disciplic succession of the Nimbakacharya Sampradaya, or after getting defeated he decided that I need to get out from this and take up the Vaishnava path?
We just read it. Prabhupada just wrote about it.
Yeah, join after.
Text 25. He said that unfortunately he could not conquer the learned scholars in Navadvip because this Digvijay, he was roaming around whole of India looking for scholars that he will defeat. But when he came to Navadvip, he could not conquer the learned scholars in Navadvip. Why? Because a little boy, Nimai Pandit, right, defeated him.
Acha, and
Later,
later
we
he became.
understood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
And
is
after that,
other
yeah.
than the Supreme Person Godhead. Thus, he surrendered unto him and later became a pure
Devotee.
Vaishnava in the Sampradaya of
Nimbak.
Nimba.
Okay, okay, I get it. I get
Right.
it. I get it. Okay, okay.
So then he wrote what? He wrote Kastubha Prabha, a commentary on the Vedanta commentary of the Nimbarka Sampradaya, which is known as the Parijata Bhasya. So one thing, see, whatever qualification we have now, he was a great scholar, right? His problem was this, he was proud. The qualification of being a scholar is not a problem at all. The problem was pride. So when that pride was removed, his quality as a great scholar was utilized in the service of
Of the
Krishna.
Lord.
Right? So he wrote, I mean, can you and I, even though, we may not be proud, but if we are not scholars, right? Can we write any book? We can't, right? We can't do. So anything that we have, even being a grihastha, right? We like to say, I'm a grihastha, I can't do. Actually, grihastha is not an issue, not a problem at all. Arjun is a grihastha, Mahaprabhu is grihastha, right? Advaita Acharya is grihastha. Most of the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nitai is a grihastha, Namhatta, right? That's why Nitai accepted the grihastha ashram to encourage all the
Namhatta
grihasthas,
program.
right?
Pranam.
He set up the Namhatta. So he showed it's not at all any obstacle. Just that we need to know how to utilize our life situation, our qualification in Krishna's service. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was grihastha. Prabhupada was grihastha. He became
So,
acharya.
so Mataji, the thin line here is that even if, I mean, you might have all the scholarly knowledge, which can be definitely a Vedic knowledge and all that. But if Krishna is not there, then the qualities or the anarthas automatically crop up. But when you have Krishna in the center and you are still a great scholar and but at that time you are a Vaishnav, that in spite of having the same knowledge and same background and same perspective, that anartha you are able to control it. If I'm able to understand the whole thing.
It's not that you're able to control it, it gets smashed. Right?
At least, yeah, you develop a perspective.
Yeah, Mahaprabhu had to smash it. We can't control our anartha, right? Krishna has to take hold of Kaliya and tame Kaliya. Isn't it? Same thing here. Keshav Kashmiri. So he was so humiliated, right? So when he heard that made the Digvijay feel himself condemned, right? Our anartha is so embedded in the soul, right? Embedded in the soul, covering the soul. Who can remove it? Who can remove? Our endeavors, our sadhana. Okay, but Krishna has to give me surgery, right? He has to do surgery. So our qualification is that we allow the surgery to happen. All right, okay, we are late. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhuvaiva cha patitānaṁ Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.